welcome to another lawnfawn video. Today we are so excited to be introducing our Heart Garland Backdrop in a portrait style, and we'll also be introducing the Heart Garland Backdrop in the landscape style. So let's go ahead and check these out. First, we're going to take a look at the landscape style, and it has that awesome backdrop frame right there. And then it also has an included extra banner. And then there's these little individual hearts that you can die cut, and it die cuts a bunch of them all at once, which is really great. There's a stitched banner, and then there's a cool fancy folded banner. So to add the hearts on, what I like to do is add little drops of glue with my glue tube and then layer the hearts on. In this case, we're doing all of the hearts in a bright pink that's called guava, but it's really fun to cut them out of different colors. This, of course, is great for Valentine's Day, but it's really great for year-round too, and we'll be showing you different ways to use these dies in the video in more of like a birthday style and then more of a Valentine style. And you can just see how cute these are. It creates the perfect backdrop for scenes. So we're going to add our last little heart there, and then we'll also add some hearts to that little extra banner. I like adding that extra banner to extend the beautiful heart banner down the card depending on your design, and then the other way to use it is to just use it on its own, like two critters holding either end. Now this is the fancy folded banner. This die creates little score lines on either side, which you're going to fold in a Z shape. So you'll fold one back and then the other one towards you. And that's going to create this really cool little three-dimensional banner that's perfect for stamping sentiments. This is great, of course, for using for your Heart Garland Backdrop cards, but they're just great little banners that you could add on any of your cards that you might be creating. And then here is a look at that little extra piece. You can see how you can extend that garland and have it keep going down your card. I love that. It really just feels like a party. It almost reminds me of like those little string of globe lights that people hang in their backyards. And of course you could have that little string going the opposite direction too. Now here's the portrait style of the Heart Garland Backdrop, and you'll see that it has included some extra little pieces. There's these adorable heart balloons. Then there's also included is a little stitched banner that's just adorable, and then an extra garland as well that you can layer, and of course a die that cuts out all of those tiny hearts. And so we're going to do something really similar to what we did before. We're going to add our liquid glue on, and then we're going to drop on all of those little hearts. And to note, these hearts are the same size in both of the backdrops. So if you had both, you could even run two dies through and die cut even more tiny little hearts, which are really cute for shakers too. So there you can see just how adorable that little background is turning out. And then we're going to do the same thing, adding liquid glue and layering on the hearts on the little extra banner. This one in particular is really cute with a critter holding each end of it. But of course you can go ahead and layer it onto your backdrop, and you can have those hearts keep coming down the card. And we'll show you how to create a card with that in just a little bit. And then here is that little stitched banner, which is a different size than the one that's included in the landscape. Once again, it's a great general banner for both Heart Garland cards and any type of card. Then here you can see how to layer those cute little heart balloons. You just die cut the string and then glue the heart balloons right on top, and they are so cute with the little critter holding them. Now it's time to start creating with these dies, and for the first card we're going to be doing a landscape style Heart Garland Backdrop card. So we've die cut that out of some white cardstock, and then we're going to take that heart die that's included with this whole die set, and we're going to die cut some shades of cardstock. And so this is Ballet Slippers, Guava, and Raspberry, and they're really pretty shades of pink for an awesome Valentine's Day card. And just like we did earlier, we're going to layer some drops of glue on each of the hearts, and then we're going to add on these hearts in kind of random order there so that you have a lot of different colors showing up on the card. And right now we are recreating a gorgeous shaker card by Grace, so thank you so much, Grace. And here you can see just how cute this banner looks when you change up the color of the hearts. It's just so sweet and so much fun. I just love it. It's really cute when you add like sparkly cardstock and things like that too, or even little white gel pen lines on the hearts would be adorable. So now we're going to create a shaker card, and one of the really cool things about the Heart Garland Backdrop is that frame that it has is the same exact thing as the stitched rectangle frame, which means you can layer them together, and that's what we're going to be doing in this card. So we die cut a bunch of these out of white cardstock, and we're going to stack them together to create a shaker card. This is going to give us some nice height. If you didn't want to die cut so many rectangles, you could also use some foam strips to give you height, or even you could die cut that fun foam craft stuff that you can find at your local craft store, and that would also give you some height for your shaker card. So we're going to add some liquid glue and then just stack these all together to create a ton of space for our shaking to happen. For the base of this shaker, we're going to be using Watercolor Wishes, this beautiful birthday candles color, and we're going to add that to a standard size card base right now. That's 5.5 by 4.25, so that our card base is ready to go with this shaker. Then we can layer that stacked frame that we created. So we're going to add some liquid glue on that. We're going to layer that onto the card base, and that's going to be our area that we're going to fill with shakers. But before we do that, we need to start working on the top window part of the card. So we're going to bring back that awesome Heart Garland backdrop that we created earlier with the multicolor hearts, and we're going to start working on a really cute scene. So the first thing we're going to do is take that same stitched rectangle frame die, the one that coordinates with the Heart Garland backdrop, and I love when these older products coordinate with newer ones, and we're going to die cut the Nitpicky winter paper, and the pink color is perfect for Valentine's Day. And we're going to layer that right on top, and that's going to help change the color of the frame, which I think looks really, really cute. Now we're going to be creating an indoor scene. So the next thing we need is a floor. So we're going to take out some wood grain cardstock, and that's going to become our kind of hardwood floor for the base of this scene. So we're just going to kind of take a look, see where it looks nice, and then you can make a little tick mark and just trim it off. And I like doing that instead of trying to exactly measure it, because visually I can see exactly how nice it's going to look for that bottom hardwood floor to be right along the bottom of this card. And so we're going to layer that onto the back of the frame. Now every shaker needs a window, so we're going to be using some nice clear acetate to create that. And so here we're going to cut this down to 5.5 by 4.25, and we're going to be layering it on the back of this whole heart garland frame. And that way you'll be able to see through to all of those little shaker pieces moving behind it. So we're just going to layer that right on there, and now you can see there's kind of like that clear shiny little window on the back. And then we can start to form our scene. And to form this scene, we are going to shop our stash. So this is a fun thing to just look through whatever you might have in your stash to bring together to create a Valentine scene. And that's what we've done here. So this couch here is from Window Scene Winter, and it's just fun for setting little indoor scenes. I just love it. So we're going to layer the couch on there first. And then these little things here are little cake plates, and those are going to become our side tables. So you can really kind of peek through your stash and see what you could find. We've got little lamps there from Den Sweet Den, which are so cute. And then we're going to layer on a bunch of Valentine images from Scent with Love and Scent with Love add-on. They have a ton of cute stuff like heart-shaped chocolate box and chocolate-covered strawberries and things like that. So we're going to layer these all around the scene, and that's going to be as if our cute little bunnies brought each other these fun Valentine gifts. And these bunnies are from Butterfly Kisses and Tea-rrific Day, and I love that you can mix and match these bunnies together. We'll add that little heart-shaped balloon in there. These guys really got each other a lot of Valentine's Day gifts. Our rose and a cute little bow for her hair to kind of match his hat. And then here we're going to take that little handmade card from Would You Be Mine, and we're just going to stamp a little heart in there and then color in the heart to kind of go along with the hearts in our Heart Garland backdrop. Then we can give this cute little heart to the other bunny to hold. And look at this scene. It's just so cute. Grace, you are amazing. I would have never thought to combine all these stamp sets, but it really opened my eyes to take a look at my different sets and see what kind of cute scenes I can combine. So now here is kind of a look at how the shaker is going to come together. So the next thing we need to do is fill this shaker. And so we're going to first use an anti-static powder tool. And what this is going to do is just take away any extra stickiness you might have from liquid glue or adhesive. And that way your shaker bits are going to move really nicely. So we have these cute little hearts that I just love, and they're perfect for Valentine's Day. So we're going to sprinkle in some of those. And then we've got these little beads, and I like these beads because they kind of help keep those hearts moving, which is great. And then every shaker needs some chunky glitter. It just makes it so sparkly and magical. So we're going to add some in there. And then the next step is to add some liquid glue onto the frame, and then we can layer our window piece right on top. And you can already see how that cute little shaker is going to end up working. Just so adorable. So now we need a sentiment. So of course we're going to use that awesome stitch banner that's included in the Heart Garland backdrop in the landscape style. And we're going to stamp out one of the sentiments from Simply Celebrate Hearts that says, "Love is in the air." And we're stamping that out in some clear embossing ink, which is a nice sticky ink. And now we're going to sprinkle on some gold embossing powder. And then off camera, we are going to go ahead and heat this up with the heat tool to get this nice, bright, shiny gold sentiment. And isn't that gorgeous and just perfect for Valentine's? So we're going to add some tape runner onto that, and then we can layer that into the scene, and I think it's just so cute, and there's something about the gold that just makes it feel so special. And now this card is all done. I just love the shaker elements of it. It's so gorgeous. I love that the Heart Garland Backdrop also works with the stitched rectangle frame because it makes it easy to create shakers and also to change the outside color of the frame. And I love to shop my stash and look for cute stamp sets put together in scenes. So this is so fun. Now, next up, Shari is going to be creating a Heart Garland Backdrop portrait card, and it's so super cute. So take it away, Shari.
I'm starting out this card with the Heart Garland Backdrop. This is the one in portrait, and I have cut this. It cuts the frame and those garlands from some pixie dust cardstock. So I have that white glitter. I've also cut the little hearts and the balloons, and then I'm also using these cute little mice from Bubbles of Joy. Now I've cut the hearts and the balloons from mermaid cardstock, chili pepper cardstock, and guava cardstock, so I have 3 colors. And then I've also cut that individual garland from some pixie dust as well. This will allow me to extend my garlands further down the card. Now for the background, I'm using this pink spiffy speckles paper. I've cut this to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 so that it fits perfectly behind the frame with the heart garlands. And then I'll be using a piece of that aqua color from Spiffy Speckles. This is going to be the ground at the bottom where my little mice are going to stand. So what I'm going to do with this piece is actually cut the bottom with the Heart Garland Backdrop so that I am going to end up with a piece that fits in that bottom. It fits inside the frame. And then I can use the simple stitched hillside to cut the top of it. So I have a little arched hill at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and assemble some of these pieces by putting the pink spiffy speckles onto a card base. Then I can add my garlands. Now before I put the frame down, I wanted to make sure that I could tuck the ends of these other garlands behind the frame. So I've just got it laying there as a guide for the moment. And I'm going to add this individual garland before I glue the frame down. So that way I can see that the right end will tuck behind the string and the left end will tuck behind the frame. And I'm going to add the second one, kind of doing the same thing. This one I'll just trim off the little excess piece here so it looks like it connects. And then I'll trim off the piece that hangs off the side of the card. And now that I have those 2 in place, I can add the whole frame with the garlands at the top. And I'm just adding a little bit of glue just to the back of each of the little hearts. I'm not really worrying too much about the string. And then of course glue all the way around the frame. And then I'll just line that up and adhere that down to that card base, making sure all those little hearts are stuck down. Now I'll use that same liquid glue, and this is kind of important because I am gluing onto glitter. I want to make sure it sticks really well. And I'm just going to vary where I put each of these colors on the little garlands. So I'm just adding glue to each little heart. And I'm trying to place them such that I don't have 2 blue ones together or 2 pink ones together or 2 red ones together. So they may not always be in exactly the same order. But if you just work your way 1 string at a time and vary the colors, it's going to turn out super cute. And I cut each of these out of each color that cuts 8 hearts, and I ended up with the perfect amount to do the garlands that I had at the top as well as the garlands that I added at the bottom. Now a couple of these will get covered up by my balloons, but I just thought I would go ahead and just fill in all these hearts, and then I didn't have to worry about which ones you would see and which ones you would not. And I just think that is really cute just as it is too. So I'll add the little hill at the bottom, and then there's a die in the set that cuts the string and the 2 balloons. But I wanted to make it look like a cluster of 3, so I'm going to add a 3rd balloon. And I've just cut that string from some narwhal cardstock. And I'll just add the 3rd balloon behind the 2 at the top. And I'm not going to worry too much about the fact that there is not a 3rd string. That really doesn't matter. But this cute little cluster of 3 is super cute. and that's going to end up sort of in the center of my card, and you'll see how that is going to cover up some of the garlands, but that's okay. So I've added my little mouse at the bottom to kind of place where I want him to be. I'm adding some foam squares behind both of these. And I've not glued my balloons down just yet. I wanted to get my mice placed, and then I will add some liquid glue to my balloons and slide that bow behind his little hand, so that it looks like he's holding the balloons and running, and then the little tiny mouse is chasing behind him. Now for the sentiment, I am using the banner that comes in this die set, and I thought it would be cute to just kind of have it hanging over the edge at the top. I decided on doing it on the right side, and I'm using this little short sentiment from the Would You Be Mine stamp set that says Happy Heart Day. I didn't want my banner to be too big. I didn't want it covering up my cute little heart garlands, so I went with this shorter sentiment. I'm adding some foam squares on the back, and this banner is cut from some raspberry cardstock, so it's a different pink than the colors in the garlands. And I'll just line that up towards the right side at the top, and then I'll trim off the excess that is hanging off the edge of the card. Now I do have a lot of glitter going on this card with the pixie dust cardstock, but I wanted to add just a little bit more to that heart in the sentiment and to the top edges of the balloons. So I'm doing that with some sparkle glaze. And I decided to leave the heart garlands just plain because I have the glitter on the strings. And here's that finished card. I just think it is so cute. I love how you can extend those garlands down, and I love those cute little balloons with those mice. So on this card, I thought it would be fun to layer the Heart Garland Backdrop landscape with the Lift the Flap tree backdrop and create a really fun and cute birthday card. So I've cut my trees from some craft cardstock, I've cut my garlands from some storm cloud, and then I've cut a piece of spiffy speckles to layer behind to be the sky. I'm also using a piece of green textured canvas cardstock for the grass. I've cut this with the largest stitch rectangle, so I have that nice stitching detail on the bottom and up the sides because it is going to layer on top of the frame. And then I'm going to cut the top with my grassy border. I decided that it would be best to stamp the sentiment first and then cut the grass so that I can get the spacing nice and even. So I'm using the sentiment that just simply says happy birthday, and this is from the Happy 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 stamp set where I found these stamps for the sentiment. I'm just stamping that in my MISTI, and I will double stamp this because I am stamping on a textured cardstock, but you can still get a good impression if you just stamp that twice. And then I can cut my grassy border die across the top and give myself some grass for my cute little beavers to have a birthday party in. So the garland is going to cover up the two holes in the trees on the left and the right, but the small one in the middle is below the garlands and still has space to open. So I am going to use that and add a little critter in there. So I'm just backing it with a piece of that narwhal cardstock so that it has a background for my little critter to go on. Once I've got that in place, I'm just going to add my liquid glue all over the back of this die cut and adhere that to my spiffy speckles piece that I have already put onto a card base. Now I'll move on to layering that Heart Garland backdrop on top. Again, this is cut from that same narwhal cardstock as what I layered behind the opening in the tree. And then of course my grass is going to layer on top of the frame and overlap the frame on each side and the bottom. So I've set the scene for my birthday party and now I can decorate. So I've got the little heart die that comes in this die set with the Heart Garland backdrop, and I'm cutting a rainbow of little hearts. So I've got ballet slipper, guava, fake tan, sunflower, cilantro, some gold glitter, peacock, a blue and a purple from the textured canvas colors from the blue pack and the purple pack. And I'm just going to make a rainbow heart garland across my little birthday scene. And I just think that this turned out super cute. I love the colors. And then I'm going to work my colors backwards when I do the other one. And I am also making sure that I put that gold in a different spot so that those gold hearts really stand out. I'm actually going to add a third one over on that right side. So the gold hearts are just kind of intermixed in our rainbow. So I've used the beavers from the new Would You Be Mine, as well as the cute little birds from Party Animal and some Party Animal accessories. So I've got some birthday hats and a cake and a present that I'm going to add to my little beavers to create some birthday party beavers. This little guy has a hat and I am going to make him look like he's holding this cake. I'm going to add a little foam square to the cake and pop that up in his hands. And I've already added some black glaze pen to their noses. You can see they're kind of shiny. I did that before I die cut them out. And then for this little beaver, I'm adding the second little bird. This is the one that is facing towards the left. So that works great with this little beaver on the left, giving him a little party hat. And then of course, I'm going to add the present on his tail because I figured that's a good place to carry things if you're a beaver on that nice big flat tail. And then of course, they're coming to wish the bird inside the tree happy birthday. And I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle to go with my gold glittery hearts that I added. So I'm just adding some to the present and the hats, as well as the flame on the birthday candle. And then here is my cute little finished birthday card with that surprise little birthday guest in the tree. And I just think this turned out so cute with those heart garlands up in the trees.
I am just in love with this card, Shari. It is so cute, and I love that you showed that this heart garland backdrop is perfect for not only Valentine's Day, but for year-round too. And of course, your other card is so cute, and I love how you extended the banners on down. Next up, we have some incredible cards by the design team. And first up, this card by Tammy is so sweet. I love that ink blended background for the backdrop. Then here, Elena extended those beautiful heart garlands all the way down the card, and it's such a cute place to add her little critter hugger in the middle. I love how Mindy alternated her different colors of cardstock with some glitter cardstock. It looks so cute for this I Heart You card. And then here, this card by Maureen is so much fun. I love the strawberry theme and the fun shaker detail in the background. This card by Callie is so pretty. That rainbow background is just gorgeous. I love it. It looks like conversation hearts. And then here, I love that Elise took this heart garland backdrop into a birthday card. It is so super sweet, and I love those colors. Here is a nice and simple card that we created in the intro to Would You Be Mine video. So sweet with those little beavers holding the heart. I love how clever Audrey was. She used different shades of green for her heart garland, and it becomes almost like greenery for this really, really cool scene, and I cannot wait to try that. Here's the card by Grace that inspired us to make ours. It's so cute, and I just love this little scene so much. This card by Kara is so fun. She layered our backdrops together, so Bayou backdrop and heart garland, and I love that the backdrops layer together so well. This little card was so much fun to make, and I die cut everything out of white and added color with markers, and that was really fun to do. Here, Letitia shows us that the heart garland backdrop is perfect even without layering the hearts on top. I think this is so gorgeous and so striking with the purple. And then this card by Kara is so sweet, and I love how she has the little bears holding that extra garland. It looks so cute. Now, we cannot wait to see what you guys do with these new backdrop dies, so make sure to share it with us. Thank you so much for watching today, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing day. Bye!